Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. We're glad to have you join us once more. I am Lydia Odije Ochi. Welcome. This broadcast is being streamed live on our website nta.ng/live and other social media handles displayed on your screen. Senate has passed the 2022 budget of the Federal Capital Territory. The passage of the 607.9 billion naira FCT 2022 budget followed the consideration of the harmonized report of the Senate Committee on FCT, which recommended that the 2022 budget should run concurrently with that of 2023 till June next year when passed. 76.5 billion is for personnel, overhead 127.6 billion, while 403.7 billion is for capital projects.
We are going to be more involved in construction of projects that are within their powers to do, so that we can keep our economy moving and our money is not repatriated out of this country by quite a number of the foreign companies.
2015 to present, there are projects that have been lined up here over time that nothing has happened to.
And I want to specifically commend the committee, which has under the leadership of Smart Ademi, because yes, I'm aware that he has led us through some project inspections and some oversight.
And two-thirds have been taken, and this bill is passed. But let me reiterate and re-echo the observations made by our various colleagues who spoke on the report. First, it is absolutely necessary that the budget of the FCT comes to the National Assembly in good time, September of every year, just like the executive arm of government, Mr. President, presents the budget of the federal government.
Meanwhile, the House of Representatives is concerned over what it described as systematic and orchestrated attacks on personnel and facilities of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Such attacks, it added, are capable of disrupting the 2023 general election. Following a motion from Olarewaju Ibrahim Kunle, the House has condemned the attacks and urged security agencies to identify, arrest and prosecute perpetrators. Another committee has also been set up to investigate the remote and immediate causes of the incessant attacks on INEC facilities across the country. Nigeria's population managers have inaugurated a national action plan to accelerate implementation of Nairobi commitments with sexual and reproductive health, as well as rights of women and girls, topmost on the agenda. Oluseyi Adiagbo reports.
Nairobi, are we ready to keep the promise?
It is 25 years since a new wave of thinking and narratives was given to population commitments at the International Conference on Population and Development, ICPD 25 in Cairo, Nairobi. 179 governments adopted an action plan set to be achieved by 2030, and at its center is a zero preventable maternal mortality, zero unmet need for family planning, as well as zero gender-based violence. For these key players driving the Nairobi commitments in Nigeria, the West African nation is not doing as expected even after 3 years, more thanks to COVID-19.
1 out of every 200 Nigerian women died while delivering a child, according to a recent report from WHO.
But these population managers still believe that with deliberate efforts, the world agenda is achievable and making a clarion call for meeting the funding needs.
The National Action Plan is designed to guide the implementation of programs and interventions that will accelerate progress to achieve the commitments made in Nairobi.
It is important, though, to notice that the plan aligns fully with the Nigerian Development Plan, which places also family planning at the heart of sustainable Nigerian development.
The celebration of 3 years of Nairobi Summit on ICPD 25 in Nigeria is themed Sexual and Reproductive Justice as a vehicle to deliver the Nairobi Summit commitments. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Nigerians living in Canada will now have access to the coveted 64-paged 10-year validity passport. This follows the rollout of new enhanced e-passport and inauguration of the Central Passport Production Centre in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. In a statement by Shola Fashure, media advisor, Minister of Interior Rauf Aregbesola, noted that Nigeria is among the first 5 countries in the world to have this enhanced e-passport and the first in Africa. The minister commended the Nigerian High Commissioner to Canada for his commitment towards ensuring that Canada has its own passport production center, adding that with the new enhanced e-passport, Nigerians will now apply, pay, and book their appointments online directly from the Nigerian Immigration Service portal. Acting Comptroller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Idris Issa Jere, explained that until all applications on the old platforms are cleared, the passport issuing desk in Canada will continue to issue both documents concurrently. Nigeria has joined other nations of the world in collating usable data on the energy needs and supplies in the country. The effort is to ease planning and investment in the sector. Ikechukwu Dukwe reports. We're here to get that report. Let's now go over to our Lagos Network Center to get more reports from that end, and Michael is standing by. Hello, Michael. You're next.
Hello, Mike Level. Cities have been enjoined to partner with governments and play a significant role in ensuring fraternity and harmony in Nigeria. This is because an integrated, peaceful, and prosperous nation will not be fully guaranteed if peace does not first reign in local communities and each of the states. This was the submissions of speakers at the 2022 training week of the Nigerian Army Directorate of Islamic Affairs in Lagos.
A critical examination of the functions of religion in ensuring peaceful coexistence in Nigeria has continued to dominate discussions in different fora, all geared towards promoting religious tolerance for national unity and development. The Chief of Army Staff represented said the recent happenings in the world, particularly in Nigeria, have shown that terrorism has no religion. To sustain the success achieved by the Nigerian Army, the Chief of Army Staff noted that the Army must be better prepared, professionally responsive, motivated, and well-disciplined, devoid of religious inclination.
The Director of Islamic Affairs is to continue to strengthen all distorted facts used by insurgents to brainwash and indoctrinate their recruits.
The Director of Islamic Affairs Nigerian Army admitted that the training became necessary to equip personnel in peace building and peaceful coexistence.
So we gather here to deliberate and brainstorm and carry out religious enlightenment using religious teaching.
Professor Abdul Kabir from the Lagos State University agreed that religion can be used as a tool for national development if people, irrespective of their faith and ethnicity, can practice what they preach and learn to tolerate one another.
See yourself as part of him. See yourself as part of her. See yourself as just an indivisible entity.
The Directorate of Islamic Affairs is perhaps the oldest religious component of the Nigerian Army. It is tasked with providing the spiritual needs of the Muslim officers and soldiers in the Nigerian Army. In Lagos, Ruth Ario Samuel, NTA News.
The digital space is increasingly expanding and evolving to accommodate more players who are using innovation to solve everyday problems, which has opened windows to competitions. To adequately manage legal issues that may arise in the telecommunications sector, the Nigeria Communications Commission is collaborating with the judiciary to acquaint them with prerequisite knowledge in destructive technologies and the future of adjudication in the digital age. Adiola Komiakere reports that the two-day workshop for judges is focused on legal issues in telecommunications.
The rise in social network platforms, which set the stage for unprecedented platforms of social interactions, exchange, collaborations, and dialogue, has no doubt engineered positive changes with multiple avenues for entrepreneurship. However, this is not without challenges, especially as regards the ownership of online content and materials.
We need to ensure we spell the rules of engagement very clear, so that those who are participating, in that segment of the telecommunications, sector, will appreciate what the rules are, ensure they comply with them.
This workshop is therefore designed to prepare the judiciary for imminent increase in litigation, while also exposing participants to peculiarities of adjudicating conflicts in an era of digital presence and online identity.
It is essential to lay a solid foundation on what adjudication and by extension the judicial system means in the digital era.
It's imperative for the judiciary and the entire legal system to continuously embrace new innovations that will always advance the course of justice delivery.
Chief Justice of Nigeria represented said the synergy is vital in deepening the experience of judicial officers to keep them abreast with global best practices.
Nigerian judiciary is committed to employing cutting-edge technology to enhance justice administration and provide our citizens with the justice system they deserve.
The workshop expected to lay solid foundation towards building capacity and increase knowledge to the body of law is part of federal government's drive for a digital economy geared at supporting national development and economic diversification. In Lagos, Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Do not forget to follow the website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates. Time for some messages, and when we return, Nationwide continues from our Enugu Network Center. Please stay.
It's joy to the world.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year again.
FRCN, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria's Service of 9 Lessons and Carols ushers us into the joyous mood of Christmas.
With beautiful renditions from different choirs that will lift our spirits.
Theme, Fear Not.
Venue, National Christian Center, Abuja.
Date, 4th December 2022.
Time, 3 p.m.
Message giver, His Eminence, Most Reverend Daniel Oko, President, Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN.
Special guest of honor, His Excellency, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, GCON, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Hosts, Directors General, FRCN, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria.
Chief host, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, Minister of Information and Culture.
FRCN, NTA, and Voice of Nigeria Service of 9 Lessons and Carols, supported by Christian Association of Nigeria.
Come worship with us as we celebrate Christ, the newborn King.
Be there.
A new edition of TV Guide is out, featuring an impeccable personality with purposeful leadership, Alhaji Mohammed Mitakubi, the Executive National President of Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria.
In 774 local governments, will be able to put all our structures in everywhere. I'll be able to bring the retail members together, to reconcile them, to come and work for the progress of the association.
Welcome to a world of fun and excitement as we also present an assemblage of professionals in the media space. Some compelling NTA programs, current trends in the fashion world, ICT, sports, entertainment, and lots more. Get a copy at the vendor near you or any NTA station nationwide. TV Guide, your indispensable companion.
This is the moment we've been waiting. It's time to rise up, do it again. Africa, do your dance now. God, do your winning dance now. So we never lose it again. Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up, Africa rise up, yes we gon' rise up. Africa rise up.
Much for staying on. Welcome to Enugu. To improve Nigeria's rating on the human capital development indicators in the global scene, the core working group of the National HCD program developed regional and state level engagement strategies to drive home the HCD agenda. National coordinator of the core working group, Ishola Akimbi, stated this in Enugu during an engagement between a World Bank team on human capital public expenditure and institutional review consultation, as well as the Enugu HCD Council at the Government House, Enugu. Susan Eze reports.
In this case, we focus on the finance and governance constraints.
This engagement between the World Bank team and the Enugu State HCD Council is focused basically on financing and the constraints as it relates to expenditure on human capital development.
What we're here today in terms of the expenditure and institutional review is to see the key things in terms of policy actions that we need to be doing to move forward.
It's a company to understand really what are the key challenges for service delivery.
The meeting also provided a forum for peer review as key drivers of the HCD program in the Southeast Zone shared experiences from their states.
This last month, I've been able to go around the state, and I could see that commitment. I could see that action to actually do something.
Deputy Governor and Chairman of the Enugu HCD Council and the state focal person, Dr. Sam Obunwobodo, assured the World Bank team that Enugu has totally bought into the HCD agenda and is committed to the project to transform the human capital capacity of its citizens.
The meeting is focused on gaining an insight into the human capital development program of the state. We also believe and hope that the outcome will bring good tidings and support to the states.
The HCD drivers emphasized that the 2030 target of the HCD project corresponds with the Vision 2030 Global Development Agenda. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
As citizens with equal rights, people living with disability in Nigeria reserve the right to full participation in the nation's electoral process. Speaking at a voter education program tagged Able to Vote, the Enugu State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Dr. Chukwuemeka Chukwu, assured that through collaborations with the disability community, all barriers to their inclusion in the electoral process will be dismantled. Again, Susan Eze reports.
An estimated 19 million Nigerians, according to the National Population Commission, are living with disabilities. Meanwhile, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) continuously reiterates her strong commitment to partnerships that will promote greater inclusion of people living with disabilities. One of such is this gathering where INEC, the Joint National Association of People Living with Disabilities, and the Albino Foundation are involved in voter education for disabled persons and albinos in the Southeast Zone.
So what we aim to achieve is, come 2023, we want to see an increased number of persons with disabilities participating actively in elections.
After this exercise, anything they are failed to understand as far as it regards to election, as far as it regards to voting process, as far as it regards to security aspect of it, let them come to our office. We brief them.
The Able to Vote campaign is to sensitize people living with disabilities on their rights to vote. Emphasis, however, is not just on their participation during elections, but their involvement in the electoral process.
Give us the hope that the coming election 2023, that we have that full right to come out and even the access.
In January 2019, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the law prohibiting discrimination against people living with disabilities in Nigeria. In Enugu, Susan Eze, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Enugu. We will now rejoin Lydia in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Many thanks, Chinenye. Nigeria has joined other nations of the world in collating usable data on the energy needs and supplies in the country. The effort is to ease planning and investment in the sector. Ikechukwu Ndukwe reports. The report will come subsequently in the course of this bulletin. Now, the NNPC Limited has programmed vessels and trucks in order to fast-track massive loadouts from depots to various states. Adeyemi Adetunji, Executive Vice President Downstream NNPC Limited, who stressed that this exercise is being monitored closely, added that 24 hours operation in depots and designated petrol stations has commenced to keep the nation wet with petroleum products. Lydia Sampson reports.
As part of efforts to ensure product sufficiency nationwide, it says increased product loading and 24 hours operations in selected depots around extended hours at strategic stations is ongoing.
We currently have a national PMS stock of over 2 billion liters. This is equivalent to over 30 days sufficiency.
He attributed the recent queues in Lagos to ongoing road infrastructure projects around the Apapa, which further compounded access road challenges in some parts of Lagos depots. According to him, the gridlock is gradually easing out. He noted that though Abuja is impacted by the challenges recorded in Lagos, he assured that NNPC retail and key marketers have intensified dedicated loading into Abuja to restore normalcy as soon as possible. He reassured Nigerians that NNPC Limited is working with NMDPRA, Morman, Dapman, Ibman, NATO, PTD, and other industry stakeholders to ensure product sufficiency with 24 hours operations and increased product loading. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
There is the need for the revival of the country's petroleum refineries, as well as activate the drilling rigs in the country in order to optimally refine petroleum rather than continuous importation. Experts on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria reiterated this while reacting to the persistent fuel scarcity. Oyeyemi Ajayi has more.
The persistent fuel scarcity continues to be a source of concern to everyone, with livelihoods affected, hours spent on queues without assurance of getting fuel. Guest on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria emphasized on the need for more investment in the oil and gas sector and protection of petroleum facilities, especially the pipelines.
The whole structure of the pricing mechanism for PMS does not allow for value to be made at each of those value points. So when you come to the retail end, the price you pay for a liter of petrol ought to cover all of that value chain. That is really the issue.
If refining were to be a very bad business, those countries that we go to buy refined petroleum products, or technically what we call distillates, are we saying their economic and political leaders are fools?
If government decides to submit to the request of the marketers, because that's what they want, to deregulate the sector or officially push the price to 250 naira per liter, there will be fuel everywhere in this country tomorrow.
It is NNPC that bring this product, but they don't have the facilities to store this product. They took this product to private tank farms and keep them there. Now we are buying from third party.
The main motive now is how the fuel queues can be eliminated in some parts of the country. For this to be achieved, guests called on cooperation between the government and the marketers so as to get rid of the consistent scarcity of petroleum products once and for all. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Nana in Sokoto has our next set of reports. Hello, Nana.
Good evening and welcome to Sokoto. President Muhammadu Buhari's administration has embarked on reforms aimed at revitalizing Nigeria's energy sector and improving energy access to communities across the country. The president stated this while inaugurating the 2.0 megawatt peak solar photovoltaic hybrid project at Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto. Sheikh Muhammad Datti reports.
The multi-beneficial project is the 8th to be commissioned in the 37 federal universities and the 72 hospitals in the country by the current administration. The project, implemented by the Rural Electrification Agency under its Energizing Education Program, was funded by the Green Bond of the federal government. President Muhammadu Buhari, who was represented by the Minister of Police Affairs, Muhammadu Magaridingadi, said the federal government is focused on nurturing this emerging off-grid with the right policy initiative.
Nigeria's plan to reduce carbon emission by 20% unconditionally and 47% with international support by 2030 will limit the harmful effects of climate change.
Odus is the 8th university to be energized under Phase 1 of the EEP. The institution has also been furnished with 8.65 kilometers of solar-powered street lights, a functional workshop for training of 20 trained female interns through EEP STEM BN program.
It also enables us to achieve sustainable economic growth as part of our critical development goals in the country.
Minister of Power, represented by Director of Renewable Energy of the Ministry, Aliyu Abubakar, said the project is designed to sufficiently serve the students and the staff of the institution with clean, safe, and reliable energy. Sokoto State Governor Aminu Azire Tambol, represented by Commissioner Energy Resources, Aliyu Balarabe Dandimahe, thanked the federal government for the development, adding that the state government is partnering with federal government and repositioning the energy sector in the state. Vice Chancellor of the University, Professor Lawal Bilbis, commended the federal government and sought for expansion of the project to ensure effective learning conditions in the university. In Sokoto, Dalatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The special advisor to the president on social investment, Mariam Uwais, has challenged the ARCP facilitators in Sokoto to have the fear of God in them while discharging their responsibilities. She was speaking while addressing the facilitators in Sokoto, who are receiving a 3-week training in the state. Sheikh Muhammad Datti completes the story.
The 1,050 facilitators are receiving training on computer knowledge, health, pharmacy, mental health, skills, and solar, as well as monitoring and evaluation. Each of the facilitators is to have 50 children under his care to train them and monitor them, after which a report is expected from them. The special advisor to the president said President Muhammadu Buhari is worried by the increase in number of children hawking the streets, especially in the northern part of the country. She expressed the commitment of the federal government in ensuring social development of the vulnerable groups. Secretary of the ACP program in Sokoto, Professor Yakubu Ali Gobir, said the program's target beneficiaries are children from the age of 1 to 24 years in the state. This is with a view to addressing problems of children dropout and hawking to make them self-reliant.
If a child has never been into the four walls of a classroom, goes into a classroom and they're using alphabets and numbers, the child doesn't connect, it's very easy for the child to lose interest and go back onto the street.
Secretary of the ACP program in Sokoto, Professor Yakubu Ali Gobir, said the program's target beneficiaries are children from the age of 1 to 24 years in the state. This is with a view to addressing problems of children dropout and hawking to make them self-reliant.
The aim is to teach them how to read and write in Western education, and then to train them some trades for their livelihood.
Executive Secretary, Arabic and Islamic Education Board, Dr. Omar Atli Dendimahi, admonished the facilitators to have foresight and positive thinking while handling the beneficiaries. Two of the facilitators, Musa Ibrahim and Hayrat Abdullahi, they are assured of doing their best to deliver what is expected from them. In Sokoto, Show Muhammad Deti, NTA News.
Well, that's our contribution here in Sokoto. Nationwide will continue after this commercial break.
Nigerians, elections are here again. Let us shun violence. Let us play the game according to the rules. Do not be a thug. Say no to violence. Let's rise and defeat violence, crime, and sabotage against the peace of our nation. Nigeria is the only country we have. We must do everything to keep it united. We must avoid any act that promotes hate and disintegration. Say no to separatist movement, terrorism, fake news, hate speech, religious bigotry, and any act that tends to divide us as a nation. Watch out for strange gatherings and suspicious movements. Restrict access to sensitive documents and data, the disclosure of which may damage national security. Educate your staff and family, particularly on measures to safeguard information and report security breaches. Apply relevant legal security guidelines to protect yourself and your neighbors. Due to misinformation and wrong choices, some idle persons resort to vices in their greed to get rich quick. They resort to kidnapping, killings for rituals, and other heinous crimes. Avoid wrong use of the social media. Before you broadcast that false message, think twice. Ask whether it will promote peace or violence. For safety at home, still be security conscious. Educate your household on safety tips. Report all suspicious movements and persons to the security agencies nearest to you. Be a good citizen. Be patriotic. To pass security information, please call 0813-222-2105, 0915-339-1309, 0908-837-3514, or send a mail to dsspr@dss.gov.ng. This message is from the Department of State Services, DSS.
Now, what could make someone set out on a journey and not get to his or her destination? Now, imagine the victim who cannot reach out to these responders, who doesn't even have the phone to reach out. Hello, thank you very much for joining us on platform. I'm Ruth Agwe.
Especially if the girl is a minor, she's not yet 18 years. If she gets pregnant, realize that such girl is sent out of school and the boy is left in school.
Just to pick the call.
So how much sensitization is there, Paris?
I don't agree. A lot of people are just deaf.
The news continues in Abuja. Community Support Directorate of the 2023 Tinubu-Shetima Presidential Campaign Council is mobilizing and enlightening members of the APC on the current electoral reforms in order to boost the presidential ambition of Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Kashim Shettima. Leaders of support groups and various communities from across the country converged on Abuja for an interaction with APC stakeholders. Salihu Gonara was there.
As the electoral umpire, INEC,
is introducing innovation into the electoral process as provided by the new Electoral Act 2022 as amended. Supporters of the All Progressives Congress presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu, particularly leaders of the campaign directorates, are also losing sleep to make sure their members are up to date with the current reality in the political arena.
So the expectation of the community support group is to mobilize Nigerians to come out and vote and to ensure that victory remains with the All Progressives Congress.
That's including getting many people to go out there to pick up their PVCs. A lot of people have registered, but unfortunately many have not picked up their PVCs. This campaign has based itself on the grassroots. The city boy is a city boy, but he's a grassroots-minded person.
The Community Support Directorate is boasting of adequate human and material resources for the task.
We go on campaign, door to door, house to house, market to market, shop to shop. We go there and preach Bola Ahmed Aswaju, Tinubu and Kashi Shettima come 2023.
We are adequately empowered, we are adequately ready, we are adequately supported, and we are ready to move.
Members promise to deliver APC and its candidate with more votes come February 2023. In Abuja, Saliu Gonara, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the PDP Benue Northwest senatorial campaign has been flagged off in Boko. Benue State Chairman of the Campaign Council and senatorial candidate of Zone B, Governor Samuel Otom, performed the ceremony. Charles Abba reports.
And supportive voices rent the air for the candidature of Governor Samuel Otom for the People's Democratic Party, Benue Northwest Senatorial District at the Boko Stadium, where the Zombie senatorial campaign was flagged off. Governor Samuel Otom, who performed the ceremony, was emphatic on the strength and firmness of the People's Democratic Party in the state and unwavering assurances of victory in 2023.
I want to assure you, that we remain committed. The Benue State is PDP and PDP is
The governor's wife, Eunice Otom, corroborated his submission.
You have already decided that you present it as a national candidate.
Senators Gabriel Suswam, Okejev, and Abba Patrick Mero stated that it takes a man to do a man's job. They described Governor Otom as a man with the capacity to represent the Benue Northwest at the Red Chamber in 2023. By the flag-off of the Zombie senatorial campaign, what follows next is that of the Benue South and those of members of the House of Representatives. From Boko Local Government Area, Benue State, Charles Abba, NTA News.
INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu says in spite of attacks on INEC facilities in some parts of the country, the Commission will not be deterred in conducting free, fair and credible polls in 2023. Professor Yakubu gave the assurance during his official visit to Ogun State. Lekon Agbonde reports.
Assessing the extent of damage at the INEC facility in Abeokuta South, where 65,696 uncollected permanent voter cards, among other materials, were set ablaze by some unidentified persons. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakub says the damaged cards will be reprinted.
We want to once again assure the people of Abeokuta South, the people of Ogun State and the people of Nigeria that the Commission is determined to make the 2023 elections our best ever. We will not be deterred, we will not be cowed by act of arson by undemocratic or retrogressive elements.
Professor Yakub thereafter met with the resident electoral commissioner Niyi Jalaye among other staff at the INEC state headquarters, Okemasan. He also paid homage to Alake and paramount ruler of Egbaland, Obadedotun Aremu Gbadebo, where the monarch promised to mobilize support for the success of the 2023 general elections. In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Few months ahead of Nigeria's general elections, major players are already putting finishing touches towards achieving a credible and transparent process. The latest in the forefront of this arrangement is JICA, Alumni Association of Nigeria, with the media as immediate targets of the strategic engagement. Kenneth Nanim will tell us all about it.
Campaigns across political parties to increase their numerical strength ahead of the 2023 general elections are gathering momentum, and the media is at the center of these engagements aimed at marketing candidates for winning elections. The traffic generated here has continued to put the media in the eye of the storm, but JICA Alumni Association of Nigeria is acknowledging the role of the media in the midst of daunting task.
We strongly believe that media is a strong partner. It's an engine of peaceful mobilization for the attainment of national development. The media has power to sway the minds of the electorate.
Experts in this hall are urging journalists to remain professional in the discharge of their duties before, during, and after the national exercise.
Have to carry along people, make them realize that you are not just reporting for reporting's sake, but you are communicating the real thing to them, so that at the end of the day, you have not misinformed anybody.
Journalists should take the part of caution and ensure that they give a fair, balanced, and objective reportage of political issues.
Deployment of digital infrastructure in the delivery of the forthcoming election by INEC is demanding the support of the media for a successful outcome.
Publish facts and figures, don't publish misinformation, don't publish innuendos, publish issues.
Safety of journalists for objective and accurate reportage also dominated discourse at the forum, with a consensus on neutrality and teamwork. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
A group with the name INEC Registered Civil Society Coalition and partners have alleged that about 84,000 photographs of underage persons appeared on displayed voter register in some local government areas of Plateau State. At a media conference in Abuja, the group, in a statement endorsed by its members, explains that the irregularities observed in the INEC voter register in Plateau State have been forwarded to the appropriate authority for onward investigations and prosecution of culprits.
The voter register is replete with massive underage persons, including persons that are below the age of 5. And of course, we have evidence to that effect, which you see here, right here. And then again, we saw there were multiple registrations that are bound in specific cases like in Wase local government area, Kanam local government area, Kanke, Just North, and Sharabuntu in Riom local government area. We have, of course, evidence of that also here.
Commending INEC for deployment of digital infrastructure for the conduct of 2023 general elections, they also urge key players to be transparent towards a credible process.
Now, to gain the confidence of the electorate, INEC should look into the composition and integrity and credibility of the ICT personnel in the department, as this is necessary in a technology-driven election.
Civil Society Coalition also urged eligible voters not to sit on the fence but participate actively in the electioneering process. To give women and girls who are victims of gender violence another chance to actualize their dreams, a life skill and family health educational manual has been launched by the European Union and United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Elizabeth Omori reports that the guide is designed to aid education.
The Sustainable Development Goal 4 targets inclusive, equitable, and quality education, as well as lifelong learning opportunities. And Nigeria is on the path of achieving this before 2030. Hence the launch of the Second Chance Education Guide to assist women and girls who are victims of gender-based violence.
The Incheon Declaration rightly commits us
to non-discriminatory education that recognizes the importance of gender equality and women's empowerment for sustainable development. This is a crucial opportunity for us to work together across sectors towards the fulfillment of the education for all promise of peaceful, just and equal societies.
Of course, there are structures in place through the state agencies of mass education to ensure that there is compliance. The facilitators are monitored to ensure that they deliver on this mandate.
This, they say, will provide facilitators at institutions of learning with necessary information to deliver the components of education to the targeted population.
The ministry has obtained data where consultants on the numbers of women and girls who are in need of second chance education in FCT, other states will be carried out next year.
Key players in mass literacy are expected to monitor and carry out evaluation ahead of 2030. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Addressing emerging issues in the education sector took center stage as education correspondents in Nigeria engaged stakeholders on best ways to enhance the sector. A number of challenges confronting the sector, such as the acceptability of National Examination Council certificate in foreign institutions, out-of-school children, industrial action, were extensively discussed.
Somalia approached the council to give a helping hand in modalities of conducting public examinations in this contemporary changing world. So if NECO examination certificates and results are not recognized, this will not be happening.
You can't get quality education without adequate funding. Yes, we agree that the country is trying to invest in the area of infrastructural development because we have infrastructural deficit over the years. But no, even while you are doing that infrastructural development, you should also consider the aspect of human capital development in terms of education of our youth. And I think the government should devote more resources to education, allocate more resources to education so that we can have better quality education in the country.
Disengaging unqualified teachers and conducive learning environment for both students and teachers were also advocated for. To further deepen post-insurgency recovery drive of the federal government, stakeholders in Yobe State are working on a template to comprehensively address farmers-herders conflicts in the state. Adam Yusuf reports that this came to the fore at a multi-stakeholder dialogue held in Damaturu.
Yobe State is an agrarian state blessed with vast fertile lands convenient for both farmers and herders to undertake their trade. Over the years, however, there had been reported cases of conflicts between the two parties, which each accusing the other of encroachment. To complement government's effort in finding lasting solutions to the clashes, this town hall meeting was convened to brainstorm ideas among other stakeholders in the state. In their separate inputs, both leadership of herders and farmers associations in affected areas advocate an end to the menace that has claimed lives and property of their members across the state and country.
We expect that at the end of this workshop, stakeholders from Gujba and particularly from the communities affected by this conflict will be able to have a working document so that that is locally informed.
It is gathered that Yobe State is in the league of states in Nigeria with highest number of livestock projected to be over 8.6 million in Damaturu. Adam Yusuf, NTA News.
Benue State government has renewed partnership with the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, in order to enhance food value chain to fight hunger and eradicate poverty. This was when IFAD, led by its international coordinator, Dr. Samuel Eremie, visited the state. Again, Charles Alba has that.
The coordinator of the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD, Dr. Samuel Eremie, appreciated the support of the state government to IFAD, especially in the area of counterpart funding aimed at boosting food production in Nigeria and effectively deliver on its mandate.
As usual, Your Excellency, we've received a note from the government that we are still expecting more.
Governor Samuel Otom thanked IFAD for its expertise advice on how best to develop agriculture in Benue State, premised on the comparative advantage that the state has in the agricultural sector.
The international community cannot continue to waste its money or resources to ensure that they support us to produce more foods for our people.
He said it is in a bid to create enabling environment for farming activities and agro-allied businesses to thrive that inform the enactment of the open grazing prohibition and ranches establishment laws and other related matters.
It was meant to provide soft landing. It was meant to provide win-win for farmers and herdsmen. And that is what we are doing here.
He reiterated that the state government always embraces programs and initiatives aimed at making lives comfortable for the citizens. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
243 million women and girls, according to the United Nations recent statistics, are facing one form of abuse or the other. To this end, the National Council for Women's Society has joined the global community to resonate awareness of Nigerians against gender-based violence. Ngozi Technical completes the story.
The women embark on a sensitization roadwork as part of activities to mark the 2022 16 days activism on the elimination of violence against women and girls. The roadwork, led by the president of NCWS, Lami Adamu, kick-started at the National Center for Women Development with inscriptions to drive home the message. Gender-based violence is a global phenomenon which affects men and women in a net, they said, is deeply rooted in gender inequality.
This is part of the advocacy campaign. It has been a continuous cry from 1958 to date. We are just celebrating these days because we are uniting with our own brothers and sisters who have the same aims and objectives.
The theme for this year is Unite, activism to end violence against women and girls. Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
Let's join our sports desk for sports update.
Hosts and defending champions began its title defense on a positive note, winning first gold medal of the 21st National Sports Festival holding in Asaba, the state capital. Team Delta cyclists beat 3 other states, Oyo, Plateau and Lagos, to emerge winners in the 12-kilometer mixed relay decided on the Abuja Road Wednesday. Other sporting events are set to get underway after the official opening ceremony of the festival at the Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba. And golf has been described as not only a form of physical and mental exercise, but a veritable sporting tool which can promote global relations and business investments. These were the views of participants at a golf tournament at the IBB International Golf and Country Club, Abuja, to kickstart the 30th anniversary of the Free Zone Scheme in Nigeria.
I believe that we have strong reasons to celebrate the achievements of the Free Zone Scheme in Nigeria, and I believe on this auspicious occasion would like to congratulate Mr. President, who has given all the support to the development of free zones in Nigeria.
So we're using sport as a medium for connection. We know that the most important things for connection are sport on one hand, you have politics on the other hand, and so we're using all those means to be able to reach out to all our various brothers all over the continent.
So golf is a game of the mind, strategy, and also allows you to free your body and exercise yourself and amongst peers, and it's always a very good place where people discuss business as well.
That's sports update. I am Chukunonso Mwabweze, NTA News.
And that completes our package. Before we go, another reminder to join NTA in the campaign against rape and rapists. I am Lydia Odijochi. Thank you for watching and good evening.
It's joy to the world.
Oh yeah, it's that time of year again.